What are some of the most interesting fiction books like Of Mice and Men? You might be asking. Well, I've compiled a list of 8 books that may interest you. From coming-of-age novels to love stories to suspenseful mysteries, there is sure to be something for everyone. Before that, I want to share the short summary of Mice and Men with you. Of Mice and Men summary. This is a story about 2 cowboys ranch, George Milton and Lenny Small. The book follows their journey as they travel from job to job in California during the Great Depression. Along the way of our lives, we meet people like George Milton and Lenny Small who have been displaced by economic hard times, people with dreams of things that might never be fulfilled. The novel tells of the long road traveled by its characters George and Lenny, the trials and tribulations faced on this journey toward hope for a better life, and show us how these characters find solace and companionship along the way. Here I include 8 books similar to Of Mice and Men, either written in the same genre or written by authors like John Steinbeck. Fahrenheit 451, by Ray Bradbury. Fahrenheit 451 is a dystopian novel about Guy Montag, a fireman, working on a city of somewhere unknown American location. Ray Bradbury's novel, Fahrenheit 451, is a cautionary tale of a future society that is turned against books and literature. The society is controlled by the government, which burns any books that are found. The only source of information for the citizens is television, which is controlled by the government. The citizens are happy with this state of affairs, as they are unable to think for themselves. One day while out on a call, Guy Montag, the protagonist, meets Clarice McClellan, and she begins to teach him what it means to think critically about life and literature. Eventually, Montag leaves his job as a fireman and becomes an outlaw because he refuses to burn books. This book covers many themes, including censorship, self-discovery, independence from society's norms, love between 2 people. Lord of the Flies, by William Golding. In the novel Lord of the Flies, a group of boys stranded on an island and work together to survive. The book is written from the perspective of Ralph, who has been elected as their leader. As time goes on, we see how he makes mistakes and falls prey to temptations that lead him further away from his goal, safety for himself and his tribe. He starts trying to do what's best, but then gets influenced by other characters such as Piggy and Jack, who only care about themselves. In the end, it all comes crashing down when Ralph can't stop Jack from killing Simon because he doesn't want him telling anyone about their secret location. The remaining story will keep you engaged until the end. The Outsiders, by S.E. Hinton. A young boy, Ponyboy Curtis, is drawn into a world of trouble when his older brother and 2 other boys from the neighborhood gang are killed in a confrontation with members of another local gang. When Ponyboy's parents decide to move away from their home in Oklahoma City to escape the memories, he leaves for greener pastures with Derry and Johnny. The 3 friends form an uneasy alliance as they face challenges on the streets of Tulsa for survival until their luck runs out. They find themselves being pushed too far by a rival gang, and what ensues is one of the most brutal fights ever written about between rivals on opposite sides of town. The Old Man and the Sea, by Ernest Hemingway. This book tells the story of Santiago, an old fisherman who spends his days on a small boat in the Gulf Stream off Cuba. One day he hooks a fish so heavy that it breaks his line and drags him out to sea. The struggle between man and beast is not one-sided, though. The fish also fights back against Santiago, refusing to be reeled in for over 3 days. This battle both captivates and tires our protagonist as he struggles with nature. Eventually, Santiago manages to bring home some meat from this giant fish. You can learn about life's difficult choices in this book. A Separate Piece, by John Knowles. A Separate Piece is a book about 2 boys, Gene and Phineas, who are best friends at school. They make a pact to spend their summer together on the Devon shore of New England. But when they arrive, it becomes clear that something is not quite right with Phineas. His leg has been injured in an accident, and he can't swim or play sports like he used to do before his accident. This leads him into a deep depression where he falls out of touch with Gene. A Separate Piece is an excellent read for anyone who enjoys reading about the friendship between two boys. The Catcher in the Rye, by J.D. Salinger. The story follows Holden Caulfield, our protagonist, who just dropped out of prep school after being kicked out for failing 4 classes in a row. He starts his journey back home to Manhattan to find what he's looking for, but ends up finding himself on his way through New York City with nothing but time on his hands. He spends drinking coffee at dinners and meeting people along the way. Some of them are nice, some of them are not so nice. The Great Gatsby, by F. Scott Fitzgerald. The Great Gatsby is a classic American novel that follows the story of Jay Gatsby, an ambitious man who tries to win back his long-lost love. The novel was set in 1922, and it tells the story of America's most notorious decade. Millions have read this timeless tale since its publication in 1925. Little Women, by Louisa May Alcott. Little Women is a story of the lives of 4 sisters, Meg, Jo, Beth, and Amy March. The girls were living in Concord, Massachusetts, at the turn of the 19th century. At first, they are wealthy enough to afford luxuries like sugar candy and new clothes for every season, but then their father takes on more debt with his business to expand it. This leads to financial struggles for everyone in their family as time goes on. Despite these challenges, these brave girls always find joy in each other's company and try to stay hopeful throughout all that life throws at them. It is an inspiring story about how love can get you through anything. Which books on our list did you enjoy? What would other fiction books be good for us to include next time we publish an article about a favorite novel? Tell us on the comments section. We always love to hear from you.